Hello, babes. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful day today. And I have been so excited for the past few days because of today. I am talking with Lena from Lashmakers, and I just told her that I'm too excited, like that I'm shaking. So I can't wait for her to come in and join with me, and I could like her to share with you her story, how she started in the lash industry. I know many of you already know her, and maybe you read about her story or following her. But today we're gonna hear live from the Queen. Okay, so for me, she is the queen of lashes, the queen of business, entrepreneur, and the queen of truth. She share everything she's been through, and no filter. And hi, I'm gonna add Lena. Here we go. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You guys see me?
Yes. You're home.
No.
Then?
I'm not.
No.
I am not. Hold on, let me make sure you guys hear me.
Yeah,
You can
I
see
can
me.
hear you very clearly.
I'm actually in Boston, and I finished a few hours ago. I finished the class.
Okay. Where are you
How
now?
are you? It's so good to see your face.
I know. Same here.
Yeah, so I finished the class, and I've been here since Monday, so I'm flying home tomorrow.
Oh, wow. So it's a how many days? No, Monday, 3 days?
So the class was 2 days.
2 days? Okay.
So we finished. Today was the last day.
So I just told everyone that to me, you are the queen of lash, the queen of entrepreneur, and the queen of truth. And I love you so much for all of that. I've been following you.
I love you too.
And we met in Toronto. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
I was your model.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I can't wait for you to join me today and share with us the story. I know many of them may be already following you, but to the new people who just found out about Lena Lashmakers, tell us how you started. What did you do before Lashextensions?
What didn't I do? I actually a lot of people don't know that about me, but I work since 13 years old. Wow. I'm 33, so this year marks 20 years since I started working. So I always worked, and I always was after the money, honestly. And to be completely honest with you, I never did really good in any job that I've had.
Because you were born to
fired.
be a boss.
I got fired from like everywhere, honestly, because I couldn't really do, anything that I picked up. And I did really bad in school. I'm a little heavy on ADD, and so I didn't have to. I dropped out of high school like a mid-year because I realized I had been doing bad for 12 years. Like, I don't need to finish this, and I was working. I had 2 jobs.
Wow.
So I quit, and a few years later, when I was 20, I decided to I wanted to move somewhere. I lived in Israel at that time.
Oh, wow.
And I went, don't ask me why, but I went to Sweden. And I survived there for 4 months because I hated it. And then I had visa to the States. So I decided to go back home to Israel, but visit the States for a few weeks before I returned, and I ended up staying 6 months. So I ended up staying 6 months. I went back when the visa was up, and I lasted for 2 weeks in Israel. I went back. I went back here with like 2 suitcases, not believing they're gonna let me in.
Wow.
And they did. And long story short, I somehow ended up living here. I got married and, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, so I've been here since 20 years old. So I've been here for 13 years now. I came with zero English.
Wow.
I had $76 on me when I got here. And yeah, it's just that, you know what, I always figured it out. I always did. And that's what I feel like people struggle definitely the most with, especially when they're starting the business, including lash business, is the ability to stick with to dedication, to stay dedicated. And this is thankfully with all my, you know, troubles for attention and stuff like that, and I did have that always, and it actually saved me. It saved me because I was able to, once I found something that I was good at, even when it was hard and it didn't go as I would like it to, and I didn't make as much money as I would like, I still find that strength in me to stick with it. Just stick with it, just keep going, the good times and bad times. So I don't romanticize the process. That's what, thankfully, you know, that's what saved me.
And I find like you and a lot of successful people, because you've been struggling so much, and that you become like the best teacher. You can share that to the world, to your students, and because maybe like you've been there, you were in their shoes, so that's how you teach better, right? And it shows.
Yeah, I mean the teaching, it's so interesting because I never had the intention to become a trainer at all. Like I didn't really, I never really advertised that or pushed on that. It really just people made me trainer because and honestly, because of that, I really believe that that's what happens. It's the people make you a trainer because they reach out to you. They ask you, do you teach? Can you teach me? Do you offer class? It's like people show the demand, and then you meet that demand, and it's one after another, and all of a sudden they label you a trainer, and it just happens. So it's, you know, and it's a different types of trainers too. It depends, of course, on experience. What is it that you excelled at? That's usually what people want to learn. So in the beginning, it was just lashes. I would just do technique courses. And little by little, when people notice, well, I noticed that people struggle with the financial part of this business, because I started meeting more and more people that do lashes, and I would teach them. But then I see that they would make mistakes when it came to like the charging the person, or deciding on policies and how the field should work and stuff like that. And I honestly decided to include part of, like, out of my experience, how this should be working, what worked for me. I don't like to say how it should be done, because I don't know myself what's the best way, but I can tell what works for me. So if I made $120,000 working out of my home Monday through Friday for 3 clients a day, that's exactly what I can tell you how to do. So this is how the business part started. And so now it's kind of like a normal thing to people already, that if it's a Lashmaker's course, it's going to be the lashes and it's going to be the money. It's by accident. It's weird. It's so wild.
Because first of all, people love your works. So I think, like, first of all, in your journey, it's more like you perfect yourself, and then people follow you and people wanted to learn from you. And then through teaching, you came up with another program, which is business and mindset,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. I absolutely promote the fact that in our business it will have to split into two parts. Okay, it's two parts. It's not only I learn lashes and then I make money. It doesn't work like that. So it's gonna have to be the lashes part, the art, the physical, right? And then it's gonna have to be the financial part. That part has nothing to do with lashes. Okay, it has to do with understanding the fundamentals of systematic approach to the business, learning how the money functioning, why. So all of these details, it's more of a calculative approach. So in order to have a successful business, you're gonna have to get the two under control. Because there's a lot of people that very good at lashes, but they don't make money. And then there's people that understand money and they're hustlers and they, but they don't know how to do very good lashes. So they still, it's tricky. You're gonna have to do the two. You're gonna have to do the two once you're really, really good at lashes and you understand how the money works, then it's a successful business right there.
So we have to use both sides. We have to use both sides of the brands.
You have to learn both sides and you have to practice both sides. And in the two, you can take breaks. The grind cannot stop. We can work hard for 2 days, 3 days, and then relax for 4. That's not how the grind works. And it has to happen in both sides.
Wow, that's really amazing. So I remember I saw what you were sharing, that the size of the business doesn't decide how much you earn, which is your business right now. Can you share more about that?
About the size and
the size, like how many staff do you have right now, and your annual income, if you don't mind to share.
Absolutely. So it's actually I never really talked about it before, because it's kind of like I work with my own, I'm in my own business, I do my own thing. I never really look at the sides. I never really wonder how many people this company hires and what is the revenue of this company. Like I never had that. I kind of like live in my own bubble and I just push as much as I can and see how much money I can make, right?
Right.
And I've been doing this for years this way. And I had a conversation like with this person and then that person, and then little by little, I start realizing that a lot of companies, like a lot of brands, they would have like very nice, high revenues, but they would have a lot of staff too. So it hit me so hard pretty recently that I make money that the big companies make, but we're only few people. Like people really think Lashmakers is like a huge company. Some people tell me, yeah, well, I would like to, why don't you show like your warehouses and your storages, and we don't have that. Like we are, it's my CEO, which is Maria. We have one packing person, and we have 3 lash artists right now. So we're talking about, it's only a few people. So the revenue, however, we are a little bit over 1.5 million yearly. So the ratios to how many people are working within the company and how much money we make, this is exactly shows, and why I started sharing the numbers more openly about, what's going on inside and in the money parts and stuff like that, is because this is exactly the thing, the one thing that demonstrates that the system works. That the system works, because people can make a million, and a half, and 2 and 3,
but the expense,
how much do they keep?
Yes.
How many people do they employ? How much do they need to hustle for
Yes.
that 1.2 million? So that's exactly when it hit me. And this is where I said, you know what? We are doing something right. We are doing something right, because the way it works in our company, it's very systematic. Everything is very much planned, it's calculated, and it's executed. So
Wow.
we don't wing anything. Every single thing has a system. And this is when I started realizing that successful business, working business, will not survive and will not strive and not grow without good system in place. Which in Lash business, it would be, you know, past the actual art, it will be the policies. What kind of policies you have for everything? If it's for your clients, if it's for your products, if it's for your trainings, if it's for policies in general, right? It's the pricing. How do you price it? How do you go from one price point to another? How do you make sure the actual dollar point grows, right? It's so many things. It's clientele management. The clientele, and mainly the biggest issues that I see, it's when it comes to the fields. People don't know what fields means. And when I say people, I'm referring to lash artists. Most of lash artists don't understand what touch-up actually is. So it's like so many things to it. Social media. Okay, I grew my entire business on Instagram. So there is so many things for that to that too. You know, if it's a photography, if it's what you post, how you post, it's just so many details. But each part that you take within the business, it has system in place. Nothing is just figured out as you go. Nothing is just, you know, let's swing it.
Okay.
So definitely, that was the big change this year, particularly, which made me kind of like not really minding share, you know, who works, how much we make, and stuff like that. And it is just, it became kind of part of what I promote. I promote lash business as multi-million-dollar business. This is what I do. So absolutely not minding you asking anything at all.
Thank you so much. And I know we are lash artists, so when it's about artists, we are afraid to look at numbers. We are afraid to do calculations and all that. And you're so right that we need to be more clear about numbers and the income and all that. And when you say we need to have a system, right? And all the information that you just provided, I know you are filming something that you're gonna share with us. Okay. Okay, let's forget that part.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So this is, yeah, I'm not gonna say much, but a little like a preview to it. It is about business. What we're doing now,
Amazing.
it's gonna be in such a format and such a size that it hasn't been done before.
Amazing. That's okay. What we need.
It hasn't been done before. It's going to be pretty overwhelming, I think, for some people, and we do realize that it's going to be a lot of information, so we also structured it a certain way. Long story short, whatever that is coming is going to take you about between, I want to say, between 15 to 20 days to complete. And it's going to have nothing to do with lashes.
Wow.
So it's going to be nothing to do with lashes. It's going to be all about money, all systematic approaches. It's going to be the inside of my soul when it comes to money. Wow. I mean, we're squeezing the last juice out of the lemon with this one.
Oh my God.
So it takes a little bit of time, but it's going to be so worth it. This is something that the information within those series is just something that even if I really want to talk about those things in a class, I can't, because we're talking about 20 hours or so total within the series. It's impossible. I can squeeze a little bit here and there as I'm even in a trainer's course, which is 3 days, but it's not realistic for me to talk about so many things because of the time. And this is something that can be easily done online because you don't need to be there physically, like for lashes. And so I think this is a great time. I think this is a time when people actually already know that this can be a money machine. The people already know that. You know, yes. People say like lash business is like a mafia of beauty industry at this point, because you will see like a girl, you know, driving a little Range Rover, you know, in her like 20s, 30s with the little Chanel bag, and like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I do lashes. And it's like normal now. It's like people were shocked in the beginning. Now people understand that this business is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We're sitting on gold. So you do the lash part, right? You go, you learn lashes. But then the problem starts where? That you don't know the rest.
Yes.
You don't know anything about the actual business because you never had one. You don't exactly have a business degree. And even if you do, you still will need experience in order for you to understand, obviously, how the things should be working. So how can you learn otherwise? Otherwise, you can learn from somebody else's experience that showed results. It's very simple, just like the lashes.
Yes.
So if I want to learn very high quality artistry level of lashes, I'm going to go to the biggest and the baddest that has experience, that already made their mistakes, that already went broke and made money and broke again and made money and all of these bumps. I'm going to go to the person because I want to hear the sugar. I want to hear the finished product. Let them suffer, right? That's exactly the point of taking the best class. It's because you pay a little more, whatever, but you get, I mean, it's done. It's well done, you know? It's exactly the same.
Cream on top, right?
Exactly. You get the cream. Exactly. So it's exactly the same thing with business. Because you and me, for example, we're doing exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it with the same age, we're in the same industry, we're doing physically the same thing.
Yes.
So if I just tell you what I do on a daily basis and how I manage things past the lashes, why wouldn't you try that?
Mm-hmm.
If it worked for me, there's no reason why it wouldn't work for you if you stick to it. That's just how I think.
This. We so need this business class, honestly.
Because I saw for myself that you literally start with $0. You start with zero knowledge in beauty industry at all, and you still can have Range Rover, and you still can have Porsche and Rolexes and all this stuff. Why wouldn't I tell you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I tell you?
That's amazing to hear, because as some people like you, and we still have other artists who are afraid to charge, because in my area that is that much, so I don't want to charge more because I'm new, because this and that, and then all of a sudden they hurt their back, they cannot work, and they give up because it's, at the end of the day, they don't earn money. So this business class that I will be waiting for, and I'm sure so many of us will need this.
This is going to be straight up about money.
It's gonna
because you know what? At the end of the day, as much as we, you know, we have the passion, we have the love for what we do, you know, we breathe and we leave lashes. But at the end of the day, people sometimes forget why they're actually here. You are here because you decided one day you will be your own boss. You decided one day that this is going to be my business. This is how I'm going to make money. So you went on your own, so you'll be able to do what you want, whenever you want, work with whoever you want, and make exactly as much money as you would like to. So a lot of people start with like a, you know, a good force and motivation, and then it all comes down because they kind of get lost and they don't know what the next step is, and money's not coming. So they get upset and they get worried. And you know what? This is so fixable. And I am here to remind people as much as I can why they here. You are here not because you like playing with lashes. You're here because it pays your life. It makes you more comfortable. Eventually it takes care of your family, people that you love. It makes everything easier, better, and happier. Money. That's the power of money. The power of money is not buying a purse. That's just like a purse, right? The money power is when you're able to affect someone, people. You able to change people's life. I retired my mother at 54 years old, and this is one of my biggest life accomplishments by far. This is just something that the feeling and that sense of, oh my God, like I made it happen for the most dear person my entire life. I made it happen for them, that they never have to worry again for anything. For anything. So this is one of those things, you know, if you have kids, don't you want the best for them, you know? And speaking of kids too, I do make sure that I never tell my son it's too expensive. Okay, things like that. Don't teach your kids that. Okay, don't make them know this sentence. Okay, if you can afford something for them, you just say, not now, but we're gonna get it later.
That's
okay?
So good.
Just not now. It's just not right now. Or for yourself as well. Okay, you gotta train yourself. You see a little purse that you like steam out of your ears, like you obsessed with that purse, but it's like $3,000-$4,000. So like, I can't. You don't say to yourself, I can't. You don't say to yourself, I don't have the money right now. I don't have this. You say, I will get that purse just later.
Just later.
Whatever you can't, whatever you don't have the money for, it's temporary. So don't talk about that. It doesn't matter. You talk about what matters. You're talking about, I'm going to get that later. I want this Cartier watch. This is the goal for next year. I want this Maserati. This is my goal in 3 years from now. All of these things are yours. Done. It's just not today. So what you're going to do is, you're going to work your little butt off. You're going to make sure that everything that needs to be done is being done. And you work, remember who you work for. It's like people get lazy and people are like, oh, I don't feel motivated. I'm like, how can you not feel motivated when you work for you?
For yourself.
You're not working for somebody else. You're not working hard so they can buy a fucking penthouse. You're working for you.
Yes.
How can you not be fucking motivated? I got a DM the other day. She tells me, please, and I get those. You know what? Even people that I know, they have sometimes conversations with me like, you know, can you like tell me, you know, something to motivate me? How can I motivate myself? And I'm like, how much money do you make? Let's talk about that. Like, are you like very happy with your income from 1 to 10? And they'll be like, 3. I'm like, here you go. This is motivation right there. Like, what else do you want? You broke. You know, so to me, it's the I honestly, I am having a hard time. And this is something, you know what, maybe I need to work on. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I need professional help. But I'm having a hard time my entire life with people like tolerating the conversations with people that say things like that. That say things like, oh, well, I lost my motivation because you know, my boss, I needed like help, or my coworkers, like they wouldn't help me with something, and like the environment and my studio, like I just got disencouraged. And I'm like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Why something or
The
somebody
negative spirit.
affects how motivated you are about your money? This is dumb to me. It's like when I hear things like that, I literally, like, my face start burning, because I will never understand people like that. It's like people that look for the reason why they can't,
For
and
the
why later.
excuses.
Excuses. And again, what's killing me? That excuses for who? For you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have to remember who you're cheating on.
Yeah.
You're cheating on you.
Yeah.
You're kicking yourself in the butt, not somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So this right there, it's to remember why you're here. You already went on your own. You already quit your previous job that you hated, or you have a degree that you're not gonna do that, and we all know that. So you're already here, right? You already got the certificate, you got your license, you're already here. It's too late for you to be lazy now or back out. It's too late. You're already here. Why not to make the money? You know what? This is something, and whoever right here that is watching us, they're gonna laugh a little bit, because everybody that met me in the classes or like conferences and stuff, this is what they heard from me. Okay, let's say, you know, me and you over here, right? About what, 30s, early 30s, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if I take that age and I say, okay, if me and you not gonna get sick, like deadly sickness, not gonna have like a freaky accident, okay, everything goes right for us, me and you will be dead in 60 years. 60. That is 60 summers, 60 Christmases, 60 more times to give a birthday present to your kids. Next year is gonna be 59.
Mm-hmm.
After that, 58. There's gonna be a day that is not that far as it seems that you will be gone.
Yeah.
And you will be gone with no coming back. And you never, it's like you never were here before. You
so
become ashes.
Yeah.
So why am I saying that to people? To depress them? No. To remind them that the time is the most precious thing they got. It's most expensive. Okay? Rich people buy time, poor people sell time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Realize that there is no, it's not rehearsal. If not, right the fuck now. When?
Mm-hmm.
When will you get yourself together? When will you invest in your business? You know what? It's crazy, because like this is something that is fresh, right? I'm like heated a little bit because I had a class. I had a class of a few people, right? Group class, and it happens every single time I have a group class. I talk about cameras, right? I talk about social media. I start talking about equipment, and I tell them the phone is a no. And I tell them what camera, what lens, They start asking me how much that is, right? So there's like ranges. But I would say like a good camera, it's about maybe $1,200, like good, not best, good. And like the lens will cost you another like $1,300. So you're talking about $2,500 investment, right? They're all going out of their fucking minds, okay? Oh my God. Oh, that's so expensive. It's like, what are you talking about here? You invested in the class, right? You invested in a massage bed. You invested in Glamcore, $250. You buy a bottle of glue every 3-4 weeks for $80. Like, this is part of your investment, right? So the way you have to think about that, if it's within my business, it requires me to pay for something, investment of any kind. Will this make me more money back? And like the camera is such a big deal for everybody. It's like I have to convince a person to fucking buy a camera for their own good. I'm I'm like, what are we talking about here? Yeah. So it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy because people don't understand that a good investment is education, as equipment. It's something that will help that money machine run smoother, faster. Okay, you need those investments, and it's like, it blows my mind that people like put $2,000 on 2 days of a class. Why? Because it will make them better. They will make more money. But then it's a camera for $2,500 that will last them like 4 or 5 years probably. Now you cross the line, you know. So it's like, I just need people to like get on the same page with me. Can we just get on the same page with me?
It's understandable though, because they thought that they came to learn from you just lashing.
Never.
and you,
I'm like, they just walking up like, money.
They were not ready.
Money right now. No, yeah. I love lashes, and obviously I do teach lashes, and I teach lashes on, as I see, on the highest level that I could get. And because again, I do believe that it has to be 2 parts, because you have to be exceptional at what you do. And it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, there's always, in any profession, is always going to be the top of the food chain, and there's the good ones, and there's the average, and the rest, right? So you have the choice in whatever you're going to do. You know, it's like, you're going to do lashes, you can choose how good you're going to be, how good you're going to be. Nobody chooses for you how good you're going to be of an artist.
Yeah.
Not a single, nobody has that power. Okay? You do.
Yeah.
You decide exactly what level you're going to be from 1 to 10. And you know what? You decide you're going to be 10. You're going to think of the plan, how you're going to do it, what classes you're going to take, what equipment you're going to buy, how many models a week you're going to take, stuff like that. You already have a plan, and you start moving. You start moving until, and you don't stop until you hit the 10. It's very simple. It's more work than being a 3 or being a 5. It's way more work than being a 2.
Yes.
But bottom line is, who decided that? Who made the decision what number you're going to be? What level? You, and nobody else. So when people sit there and they pity, right? They're crying about, oh, but I don't have clients, or I don't have this, and I'm struggling with that, but it's because of this, it's because of this. No, it's because you not doing enough. You're not doing enough. The difference between 2 people, 2 artists, for example, right? Same age, same industry, doing lashes, for example, same city, okay? So nothing really different. Why one is extremely successful and another one struggles? What's the difference between those people? Is the first one has like a human superpower, so they're extremely smart, like just smarter than you? Or I don't know. What's the difference?
To be like that, right?
Is because the wealthy person did way more than the one that struggles. It's how much you actually did for yourself. That is the question, and that is going to be the difference in income later. Is what is it that you did for your own business? How much did you invest in it? And I'm not talking about money wise. I'm talking effort, because people spend money on the classes, and then I clearly tell them, for example, classic courses, and I clearly tell them you have to take at least, bare minimum is 3-4 models a week, and only 1 model a day. And they heard me. They heard me, and I tell them, you took the class. If you're just gonna do those models, and I teach them how to later stop the models and the clients. I teach all that process. And guess what? They don't fucking do that when they leave. They will do like 2 models in that week, and then a model the following week. And then they won't do any models for 2 weeks. And then they do a cousin, and then sit on a couch and say, but nobody's coming to do lashes. I don't make any money. Like, I literally teach a person how to make money, how to practice the transition into class. I teach everything. I tell them, if you're gonna do this and this and this, steps 1, 2, 3, you're gonna make $10,000 a month. I give you a plan. I give you exactly what's gonna happen. They still don't fucking do it.
You provide them the system, but if they don't,
I provide them everything. And why is because the person always, for some reason, not everybody, but a lot of people always will look why they can't take the model, why they can't do 4-3, why it's 1, and they're never going to be good, obviously. And all this thing, it's like the person always more busy inventing to themselves the obstacles that don't fucking exist than taking the same exactly effort and do the opposite. Do what's good for you. Why not sit there and invent why it will work for you? Why not sit there and convince yourself that you can, that you're capable, that you are the force? It's all the same effort. It's the mindset.
Yeah.
It's the mindset. And the first step of getting better is understanding who you're doing it for. That's the first step. Once you convince yourself, you already understand it's only for me and nobody else. If I'm not going to do this, nobody going to come to me one day and say, hey man, you can be rich now. Understand that it's for you, for nobody else, and your time is limited. You are the powerhouse. You can be whatever you want. You can be, if you from broke family, you can be the first millionaire from your family.
Yeah.
Why fucking not to decide to be that?
Right. So Lena, you have a son, and so you struggle even when I saw the photo that you were holding your baby and packaging the products for clients at the same time. Can you share a little bit how you did that with a baby?
So I officially registered my company in 2015.
Okay.
I do lashes for almost 10 years, but I didn't actually launch and register Lashmakers till 2015. And this is when I got pregnant, actually the same year. And honestly, even that for me, it was not something that would be like a reason not to slow down. Like it was actually more of motivation. I said, okay, now I'm gonna have a child, and I'm gonna make sure that he gonna have better things that I grew up having and stuff like that. So now it was a completely different level, and man, I was pushing harder than ever. So it was the same year. So I was like 3 months pregnant when I started shipping. Because for the first few months, people would just like come to my house, buy stuff. I would have people knock on my door 9-10 o'clock at night, and it was like that. And then I actually finally did the website and stuff like that. So I started shipping. Now, obviously, I couldn't, you know, go and just do office, and this is just not how that works. Like the money's precious when you're artist, when you're single artist, right? For work for yourself. So you don't just go and blow money on offices and stuff like that. So, so I bought a printer and everything that I needed to ship things, and I put it in my bedroom. So my inventory was in literally every single closet I had at home that had a little shelf. It was inventory there, and the rest in the boxes on the floor. Like you could see no floor.
Been there.
There you go. So I would basically do everything. And back then I used to do USPS. I would manually make those labels, and I would print them in the double size paper. I would cut the label.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know about the label makers and stuff like that. And so I did that for a long time. I did that for probably about a year. So the interesting story about the baby is that I actually sent myself to early labor at 32 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Over broken printer, because I was packing, and I had to take these packages physically to post office.
Yeah. Oh.
So it was like a lot of work. So I had to get it done like that same day. So the next day I need to take it to the post office because I have to pack again. Like I can't just. So it's midnight. I'm huge, and my fucking printer stopped working. So I got so frustrated because I'm tired and I just want to finish it, and it's not fucking working.
Yeah.
So I started crying. I was so angry at the stupid printer that I started crying out of frustration. I don't consider myself hormonal when I was pregnant because I really didn't see the difference, but maybe that too. Anyways, I got so frustrated, whatever, I calmed down, I stopped crying. By 7:30 in the morning, I was in labor.
Wow.
So I was 2 days in the hospital with magnesium, with steroids. They stopped it. They stopped the labor. And when I got back home, I was like, I can't do that anymore. So I was doing clients too. I was doing clients at the same time. So this is when I gave all my clients, about 40 people, to back then a friend of mine that I just trained about like 3 months prior to that. And I took it easy until I gave birth, and I stayed home another 8 weeks. And I started working again. So by the time I got back and everything, the sales went up and people waited for me to come back, and they booked the classes and stuff like that. It was time for me to get out of the house because those boxes were getting on my nerves, man. I could not remember what my floor looks like.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
This is such an inspiration story for so many of us. So we should not have any excuse. And again, you decide what you want.
No excuses, just money.
Yeah. And tell us more about the product line. So you started selling and having your website 2015. So that means you were selling before that. And what was your first product?
You know, the reason I started line, honestly, it's very different from what it is now, because I honestly believe that if I was a lash artist right now, I would never do the line. Because the reason I did it, it was completely different reasons from the reason people have right now, nowadays, okay? So what was my reason? How I was kind of like pushed into this. I didn't plan to have, you know, line or dream of mine. Never. I didn't understand this. I don't know anything about manufacturing right back then.
Yeah.
But this is what would happen. I started teaching, and I started teaching a lot. I would have like 2 private classes each week, like all the time at that point. So
and you build everything on Instagram too, right? Was it Instagram before that? I don't remember what year the
Instagram. No, yeah. Instagram was already, because I started teaching, I want to say on like a 3rd year of me lashing, 4th.
Okay.
So yeah, it's around the time the Instagram happened.
So people saw your work on Instagram and they started asking you.
And they would reach out to me. Yeah, and some of my clients that I did lashes for.
Okay.
You'll be surprised how many clients I trained. Lash formation.
Yes.
This is very known in Australia, and I taught her volume from 0.
Wow.
I was like, you Asian, you can do this. It's like, you born doing, knowing how to do lashes and nails. I'm like, you skipping classic. She literally didn't know how to do classic for the longest time. We still laugh about this. And look, she's making it. Anyways, I've never done that again. She was just really, really detailed, and she happened to be talented. Don't do that. Anyways, so what I would do when I would have the class is I would have ready about 22 links to copy paste, send to them for the products they're gonna need. Now the problem is that a lot of those links were like from eBay and Amazon and this and that, and I had to teach them how to buy tweezers, because I would buy tweezers from Amazon and I would buy like 5 of them. I check them. If one is good, the rest return. I had to teach them all of that stuff, right?
Wow.
And the problem was that I would give him those links, and 2 months later she's texting me, hey, so the link for eye patches is not working, so where should I buy it? Because back then it wasn't like now. You just go Burbaletta, Lash Affair, let me try this, Lashbox Select. It wasn't like that. It was nowhere. We used to buy glue from like straight from eBay, from Korea. Those labels were in Korean. It smelled like gasoline. We had no idea what's in the glue. Okay, your eyeball doesn't fall off great. Like the way it is now is completely different, right? People like understand humidity and temperature and this, and I'm like, we used to glue lash on lash with straight up dirt. Okay, like it was crazy. So anyways, so this was the problem. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get few products that like most problematic, which back then was the lashes, it was the glue, and it was tweezers. It was the most problematic because you still could go on Amazon and just put eye patches and you would still find some. So I would just tell them that, right? So I just did these three. And well, I started from glue because I didn't have much money to buy lashes. Now lash manufacturers are more flexible, because back then you like would be dead ass at 5,000 trays minimum. Like it would be like, you take it or leave it. It was very, very different. So I couldn't afford lashes right away, but I wanted to, right? So I started from the glue because it was the easiest to invest. It was small amount of money. It was small minimum. Yeah. And then I did the tweezers. Fun fact is, I still work with the same manufacturer since then. And then when I saved a little bit more money, I went into lashes. Now, that's how it started. And then these people that took the class from me, they'll be like, hey, can I buy more glue? Can I buy another tweezers? And then people tell people and say, hey, you're selling glue? Let me try some. Can I get some? Because it's either my glue or fucking eBay. You know, or very, very few other brands that were around. So it wasn't really much to choose from. So yes, and that's how it happened. And then when the sales really went up, I ended up having people like every single day coming to my house, or they would PayPal me and I would like ship it to them manually, just, you know, emailing me their address and stuff like that. And this is when I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do a website. And I did the website, and it just blew up. And once I started doing that, I realized that I fucking love it. I consider myself as a product developer. Okay. I don't, not all products, it depends what product, but most of the products, I like to work on the product. I don't just buy and I put the label. I do like to match it to what it needs to be. So I like to work with it because I'm an artist. Okay, I am an artist. I always was an artist. That's how it happened for me. That's how I grew my business, is because people always knew me from day one as an artist. So I sell products that I personally lash with. So it had to be fast. It had to be highest quality. I didn't care if it's more expensive. I didn't care if it's going to take me longer time to wait for it and forever to make it. I didn't care for none of that. I wanted the best of the best. I wanted to be the fucking Chanel of lash industry. And once I had those three products, I mean, I just became obsessed. And then the lash box happened. Well, the tiles with case, it was different from what it looks now. It was like squeaky opening up like this, and it was just you know, it's like I kind of became obsessed with solving issues that we had with products. So it was different reason for me to do products back then. It was me being the solution, you know, and I loved being a solution. Yeah. And little by little I developed, now we have about 45 products in a line. We are supermarket for lashes right now. And I was like, how did this happen? And I'm like, oh wait, let me do this too. So we definitely, and I always keep developing more and more and more. Now we work.
And I remember when I first following you, and I know that you had applied for a few patents, right?
Yes. And so the patent was for Lashbox, but it was a little bit of not the best way I did it, and it was because I didn't know any better. So I made the box. Well, at first it was
clear. Is it the clear one
with a little case? Huh?
Okay. Let me go.
And people still making them. It's so crazy. Like somebody would be like, "Oh, new product," and they're like, "It's my tile with case since fucking years ago." It's so funny to watch. Like it actually like squeaks and everything. I don't know if they got it better by now, but anyways. So it was that, and then little by little it became the lash box. And you know what it is? I honestly made it just to make it comfortable for people to work with, but I never thought in my life that it's gonna be like famous product. Never. I never had like any idea. So all of a sudden this starts selling and this starts selling, and all of a sudden some people start having this box, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I was like, wait. So I'm talking to somebody like an attorney, and he says, well, if you want, we can patent that for you. And I said, okay.
Wow.
So I went into patenting, and I actually ended up getting patents for 4 countries, which is States, Canada, UK, and China. Right. So I ended up, so I own the patent to Lashbox in 4 countries. But if I could go back, would I still do that? I don't think so. I don't think so, because bottom line is, if you're looking at how much money people make of them, I made the most money out of them because for obvious reasons.
The first one. Yeah.
So what would be kind of like messed up if there was another person that would bank from these boxes? That would be kind of like, you know, bother me. So what I did so far is, if I see a person that's selling them, I notify them that it is patented product. But I don't do that because I'm trying to stop them from selling it. I just want to notify them, because those people usually don't make any money. So far, whoever I saw with those boxes, none of them make money of those boxes. So what I do, however, I notify them, and if it happened to blow up for them later, and I take them to court, I actually will be compensated from the day I let them know. So when you do something like that, it's from the day that they are aware, if that makes sense. So that's what the patent is good for. It's not really for stopping people from selling it, because they're not, I mean, I tell them and they stop, for a lot of them stop. But if they don't, I don't really mind. Because until they make money, I don't mind.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the patents. So now when people come in to me like, oh, I have an idea for a product, and I said, listen, it's going to be copied. Whether you have.
Are you talking about this one, that the original one?
No, this is organizer.
And this
we designed it, but we didn't patent that because it's a very simple product. What I patented is it's the lash box,
okay,
the big box, and the tile.
Oh.
And the tile.
And they're so beautiful. I can't wait to get them.
You know what? It's all about comfort. We want it to be comfortable. We want it to be clean. And that's what I had in mind. And we actually have another product coming out soon.
Ooh.
Which you will be the first one to hear about this. So we are launching something. I'm going to give you an idea that is actually going to be, it's intended for storing pre-made fans, but it definitely can be used as a tile normal. So it's going to be the acrylic tile. Whoever is familiar with our product is the single tile with case, but it's going to be bigger. It's more of the bigger in size. And the actual tile, instead of being with lines and numbers on it, it's just going to be flat matte base, white base. And we together in line, we're gonna have lunch in the same time, a sets of stickers. Now it's gonna come with a card matching the size of that tile. It's basically those strips that you see in the trays of lashes. When you buy a tray of lashes, it's those strips but with film on top of that sticky part. And it has numbers on them, lengths. So for example, you have a card that says 6 millimeters on each line. You peel it off, you put it on your tile, you peel off the film from the sticky part, and you store your pre-made fans on them.
Okay.
So that's the idea. There's a few more weeks for that, and I can't wait because I am struggling. I tried the two-sided tapes, and it's just not meant for that. It's too sticky, and when it dries out, it literally grabs on the fan. You can't even peel it off. So I realized that to store the fans, it has to be something that is for lashes, like the inside of our trays. So that's what we did, and yeah, it's gonna be. See what I'm talking about? It's like I can't stop doing products. It's impossible.
So we have like
we're about to drop gel remover.
Seconds.
There is apparel in works. There is mattress in works. There's so many things that we're doing at the same time.
But we're gonna come back, right? Like after this, we're gonna come back, and if anyone has any questions, Lena can answer, right?
We're absolutely gonna do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna end this, and then we're gonna come back in like a few seconds, okay?
Oh, you're gonna come back like after this?
Yeah.
You wanna come back up? Okay. All right.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Just let me know.
All right. I'm back. Oh my God, it was so good. I can't wait for Lena to come back with you guys, and whoever have questions, ask her. She's gonna answer you. How do you guys like it so far? It's amazing, right? I knew it. I knew she can share from her heart, from her experience, and she's not afraid to tell you everything she's been through and the truth from her experience and even her struggles. Let me see. Lena, come back. Thank you guys for joining. Oops. She's here. Let's bring her back. Hey.
Long time no see.
We were not ready to leave you at all. Like, people were texting me, come back.
Well, it's 10 o'clock at night, people.
All right. So, do you want to give us more of new products? What's coming out?
So the apparel is at work. I was always kind of like against the whole lab coat type of approach. I like to be comfortable. I like the streetwear more. I think people that know me a little bit already realize that. So I am definitely leaning towards more like a streetwear style, and that's happening. We are working on a custom cushion for massage beds, and the gel remover is dropping pretty soon. So that's happening.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's all we need.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
need that. Absolutely. Those memory foams are not cutting it anymore.
Really? So what is your most proud product?
I love all my children.
I know.
You know what? If I had to really
Like,
separate
pick
one,
five. Pick five.
the I mean, the absolute top would definitely gonna be a Pure Bond. I mean, it's kind of ironic because the thing that holds everything together is the glue. So it's definitely
Why not the instant bond? Like, why the Pure Bond?
It's the same adhesive, just minus the ink. So it's less diluted, so it doesn't need much humidity to function. The grab is faster for that reason as well. Just the functionality. The quality is the same, is the functionality a little bit different. So Pure Bond is definitely #1 seller out of all the products. And it's something that I don't really see lash makers without. You know, Pure Bond, it just became kind of like associating with lash makers. That's it. It's kind of like a signature product.
And someone say, which is my friend, she say, we need a holder wallet for many tweezers, please. How many tweezers your wallet can hold?
How many tweezers? How many models?
No, how many tweezers? You know, the container. How do you call that? The wallet?
The case.
The case.
Yeah, it's 10 tweezers.
10 tweezers. Oh, that's amazing.
I love that case. It's that one product that I was so pissed about for years because I couldn't really find what I really liked. So we did have some cases before, 2 types, and man, I just was never kind of like in complete peace with it. I sold them because it was better than nothing, and we used them. But once I found that, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, and I just ditched the other ones. I mean, in one day, whatever I had in inventory, I literally just gave them away because I was like, no, that's it. This is the one. I'm obsessed with that case. It's perfect.
And how many colors do you have? I see white. Do you have
white and black?
White and black. Okay. Awesome. Any other? I love the case. Someone say. Oh.
It's so neat. It's very, very neat. It's very classy, very expensive looking one.
And what else that you are very proud of?
I definitely proud of the whole organizing system. I mean, the lash boxes, the tiles.
They're so pretty.
It definitely made difference for so many lash artists, and this is something, the impact that that product made on people, because before these things happened, before I launched those things, people literally would put it on their hands. You know, they would like figure it out. They would buy like a piece of tile from like Home Depot and they put it on there. It was like figuring it out. It wasn't really like a product for that particularly, you know. And I am very proud of that because it did make an impact on a lot of people's work.
Did you still have that photo that you share with us, that you put like the tape or something to explain to the manufacturer how you want it?
Of course.
Can you share that on your story later?
I'm gonna have to find it.
I know.
I'm gonna have to dig for that. It's old, but yeah, I literally had to.
It's so amazing to see.
I took like a clear block, which I was using. It was for holding lashes, but it wasn't very popular and it was small. So it wasn't really what it needed, and it would shatter if you would drop it because it was glass. So I would literally like draw lines on it. Not draw, like I draw it first, but then I would print it because it's nicer. So I would print lines and numbers, like the lanes, and then I would glue it under the block, clear block, with like a tape around it, and that's how I use it for myself. Wow. And I literally didn't think about doing anything with it. And I would teach my students how to make that. I'm like, look, this is what you do. You just gotta do the printer thing, you know, and cut it. And eventually I was like, wait a minute, let's just make it like that. And that's how it happened. So I sent it to them, and I did the samples, and it was pretty easy actually, because it's very easy idea. It's very easy product, you know.
It's simple, but like you need to have that idea, right?
It's very simple, but the impact was enormous. So it's definitely it's a special product.
Yeah. And the lashes, I haven't seen many line carrying 0.12. Which
I love 0.12
for classic.
I love 0.12. It's you know, when I do classic, I really what I have in mind is very natural, you know, very light. I have certain opinion about classic. So for me personally, I like 0.12. I realize majority of people do 0.15, and it's the reason why I have it, but I do add always to the line what I use personally. So 0.12 is something that we use a lot in the studio and myself, so that's just the reason. I just like the way it looks better than 0.15.
I'm sure it looks very natural.
It's like I always thought that if you want fuller, you just gotta go volume.
And are you gonna add like brown color lashes, like dark brown?
We actually have we do have brown lashes in line. It's just out of stock. It's been out of stock for a long time, but you know what? It's when you have so many things, like so many products, and then you have the classes and you have the projects and this and that, and it's like so many things become pending and not priority, and you're kind of like behind sometimes. And it's exactly what's happening to brown lashes.
Yeah.
It's like, I know I'm gonna get there. I know I'm gonna reorder. It just needs to be done. Honestly, that's the reason. But we have brown lashes in line. They are 0.10. They're 0.10 because I truly believe 0.10 more suitable for volume, not for classic. And typically when you would use brown lashes is for people that very, very natural looking, blondes, gingers, and they don't necessarily want thick lashes anyways. So when you use 0.10 2, 3D, I mean, they look fantastic.
Mm.
But because they're 0.10, not 0.07, you see the color better. So that's why I decided to lean towards 0.10 more when it comes to brown lashes. But yeah, they look gorgeous. It obviously it's to the taste, you know, because even the blondes and the gingers typically they would still go for black. And that's why kind of another reason why it did go a little bit to backwards and kind of, you know, stay pending is because there's not like a huge demand for it. So we don't make it a priority.
And the patch, you have new patch, which is blue colors, your brand
Right.
color, very beautiful.
So
what's the difference?
Those patches.
Yeah.
So initially, it was because it's for more of a sensitive skin. For example, I'm a person that I just hate all the patches, okay? And this actually, those patches, first time in years that I can actually like chill with it.
Oh.
It's actually like what I feel is like more of an itchy sensation. And I don't have that with these patches. Now it's more of a for sensitive person. If the person is fine with regular ones, great. You know, if you just accept the color, if you're interested, but that's different. But if the person, the client, is sensitive in terms of I'm sure you guys know, sometimes you put them right away, they start doing with the finger and they're like, oh, it's itchy. It's for that person right now. Blue is just, if you have blonde lashes, very, very light brown, you can see a little better against blue. So I like them. They're so gentle. They're still so sticky. I like them a lot. That's why I decided to keep both the white ones and just add to it, because white patches that we have are very, very popular as well. I didn't want to ditch it, but I really like the blue ones, so I said, you know what, we're gonna do both. And that's just how it happened.
And a tweezer, which one is your favorite that you use
for pickup? 112.
112, okay.
Which is the boot, but it's the more round one, the tiny one. I love that tweezers. I actually teach classic on those tweezers as well. I don't teach classic on the hook or any other one, because if you do so, when they go into volume, they're shocked. They don't know how to use tweezers anymore in one day.
That's true.
So if you start a person on volume tweezers, it's not a big deal for them later on. Very important.
Yeah, someone say, I love your eye patches. They are the best. Which one, Yasmin? The new ones? And I saw someone that really loved your pure born also, like you said. Lena, are your products made in USA or vegan? Someone asked.
Huh?
Are your products made in USA or vegan?
If they're made in USA and what?
Vegan. Are they
vegan? All lash products are vegan. Except Siberian mink, which nobody uses. It's all synthetic. It's completely synthetic. So it's very it's a strange question.
Yeah, because you know, a lot of companies put the marketing vegan, so
it's a marketing move.
It's just marketing.
It's purely synthetic and chemicals. There is nothing natural about this, so there's no animal products involved.
Someone love your shirt.
Thank you, MJ. MJ forever. You know, one of the biggest lessons in life I learned from my buddy MJ is, and it's just stuck with me since years and years ago. I actually saw him in a club in Miami one day.
Wow.
And it was so wild. He's enormous, and this guy is just pure magic. So anyways, what I've learned from Michael Jordan years ago. And by the way, The Last Dance, if you haven't seen it, you have to. Like, you're going to stay motivated for like at least 2 years. But the one thing that I've learned is there is no second place. There is no second place. It's you either first, you either a winner or you're not. No second place. So I learned how to say to myself, okay, I'm not as good as this one, but that's okay. No. No. If I'm not as good as this one, I'm gonna go and see how they do that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna grab that information. I'm gonna be better than them. And that's in everything. And I learned that from him. I learned it from him.
Oh wow. Okay, someone asked, are you in charge of your Instagram or
Yes.
Okay. What
Absolutely.
do you do for your company? What is your role? What are your roles?
I am the creative, the free spirit, the crazy person. So I do product development. I design all the labels, all the packaging.
Oh wow.
I do more the creative part, and I manage the Instagram, the marketing part, and everything else, other people. Which is we hire people for the job. We have IT team that taking care of the website, and we have accountant that is full time also, that always available. We have different attorneys, so it's under the official employees of Lashmakers. There are definitely other people, and everyone has a job, and my job is everything that has to do with creative.
Amazing.
And marketing.
Wow. What time frame would you suggest for a working lash artist to do a full set of volume lashes?
Time frame?
Yeah.
If you make fans by hand, it's not really realistic to do less than 3.5 hours.
And
some people will be more. I had this conversation today with one of my students. Some clients have such a big, wide eyelid, big eyes. It's literally like lashing 3 eyes on a face. Like one of the models for today, the eyelid was like this, this. It was like 1.5 of mine. It was insane. So it depends.
It's gonna look
but
so
majority
good.
Is not. Huh?
It's gonna look so good though, right?
And you gotta put the time, and you gotta put the time for like a lot of different reasons. You have to put the time. You gotta finish that.
What do you mean? How do you put the time? Can you share?
Put the time, meaning finishing 100% coverage. And we're not gonna go into that because we're gonna be here for 1.5 hours. And this is exactly what I did the Lash Money, because this is the things that it's impossible for me to talk about, because it's hours and hours, and then the second we start about one thing, it's gonna be another, and it's gonna be another, and that's how the ball rolls. It's like physically impossible to talk about all of these things that will eventually make you money, that will form that snowball. Okay, more and more income. That's exactly where it's at. It's all of those things, understanding the feels, understanding why putting so much time. What are the reasons? Okay, everything has a reason. Everything has a system. They will have to wait for Lash Money.
So some people ask how to build clientele without stretching yourself so thin, and some say, can you speak about prices, how to chart when starting from scratch? Maybe all that. You
gotta wait for Lash Money for that. We're gonna be here for 3 hours.
You're gonna learn from her online teaching later, the video that she's working on, right?
Yes, it's gonna be pretty massive. It's gonna be a lot of videos.
Cover all that.
All of that.
All right. So I think that's it. Rich girl, yes. Oh wow! As a beginner, it takes me 6 hours doing volume.
And that's fine. You just have to do it more, because every time you will get faster and faster and faster. What happens when you do take the full time that you need from the beginning is that you train your brain, you train your body to not cut corners. So you do the job. It's very long and annoying, but you finish. So next time it's going to be a little bit faster, next time a little bit faster. So eventually what's going to happen is this. You're going to preserve the quality,
Yes,
but in a shorter time. You're literally going to cut the time in half. That's what's going to happen. But this is only happens with practice. You have to focus. The main thing when you start in this business, the main focus should be minimum 4 models a week. Minimum 4 models a week, because you don't do it enough, you will not get better and faster.
Mm. And I know your teaching method is to crystallize the base, and that's how you store the lashes, the fans, right? And then you use that for clients?
Of course.
And do you use 100% of those fans, or like you mix and match? You mix with the instant fan and with the ones that you make before?
Instant fan, we don't use instant fan. We make lashes by hand, with fans by hand. We are working on pre-made fans.
Pre-made? Yeah.
It's actually finalized. It is in production. So they're already there. They're already coming. Right now, it's just question of time, few weeks until they come. They are to Russian volume standards.
Wow.
Which is the 3 things: narrow, symmetric, and small base. So I will be using pre-made a lot. And this is another subject that can take me, about an hour to talk about. But long story short,
yes.
To make it short, I do believe that eventually all of us will end up using pre-made fans, but not fully. And there are reasons for that too, but I do believe we're going to end up doing about 80% pre-made and the rest by hand on a set. And there's different reasons for that too.
Mm. You mean that the ones that you crystallize first?
No, I mean pre-made fans that you buy. Yes. We're gonna end up using about 80%, and then about 20% more is gonna be you making the fan crystallizing. Crystallizing is it has a reason why we crystallize. It's for your fan not to close when you use enough glue, because nobody uses enough glue so far that I met. So and because if you grab enough glue, the fan closes. That's how crystallizing happened. That's how it kicked in. It's a solution for you to be able to use enough glue so you can promise the retention to the person.
Okay, that's awesome. So we can wait for your pre-made fans.
It's all coming and it's flawless. It took me a year. So I would not launch it. I would not do that. I just prefer not to do that. If it was, gold, and it is, and it took forever, but it's worth it.
And if your business keeps growing, do you think you're gonna still teaching yourself, or you're gonna have a team of trainers?
I'm so sorry.
Like when your business keeps growing, right? And when it's like really growing so well, are you gonna still teaching yourself? Or you're gonna have a team of trainers?
So right now, I don't know about team, and I don't plan so far, because I learned that it doesn't matter how much you plan. You can't plan so far. You can have hopes, but not, exactly, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I want 20 trainers, because by next year you might not even want that. So so far I definitely gonna I haven't talked about that yet openly in public, but I am planning on ending a trainer's career in about a year or so. So this will be maybe a year and a half. So will be about a year and a half, last year and a half of me teaching.
Oh, wow.
Right now, there are 2 brilliant trainers that work in my company, which is Lena and Lena. That so far they were more focusing on Spanish classes.
Mm.
And right now we are making transitions because they've been lashing for years. At this point, they already know exactly the insides of what we do, and I'm about to actually post more of their work now as well, so people get familiar. Their work looks exactly like mine at this point, so they're definitely ready to replace me very soon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you will be able to definitely see more and more of them and their work and what they are about. And they are about lash makers. They are about the money. They exactly how I see it. I'm very blessed with the team, 100%. It's the people that believe exactly what you believe, and you're all on the same page, and that's what matters. But yeah, the training, I'm stretching it as much as I can. It's extremely hard for me
Wow.
to train at this point, but I'm still gonna do it, you know, until I burn out, I guess, because I've been doing this for 4 years, like on a plane every month, you know,
Wow.
and with a baby, and you know, my son is 4, and I have so many other things that I'm doing, and I always work. I honestly always work. It's like when I have training, the first day, that first day that I actually talk all day, and I'm, you know, and I'm very intense person. You see me, you know, how I talk, and I'm the passion, like, you know, pouring out of me. When I finish by that 5-6 o'clock, boy, I am, when I tell you that person, like I feel sick physically. So it's very hard on me at this point. I'm 33. I think if I was like 20, 22, it would be easier at this point. I don't want to say anything. People are like, you know, don't say you all. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I've been working for 20 years. I work since 13 years old. And the last 10 years, it's been extremely intense. It's been, I mean, everything out of me, you know, and it takes so much. It takes so much out of me. The training, the time, the energy.
The energy,
But yeah, I have another about year and a half.
Wow. But I know that you have the 5 days training for a private training for the trainers.
3 days.
3 days, okay.
Trainers program. Trainers program. So it's kind of, you know, it's gonna be the same thing. Once I stop training, I stop training. But trainers program always gonna be there, just as the others. At the moment, we only accept 1 training course per month, because it does take 3 days, and there's just not enough days for me for other things. Not enough free time. So what the trainer course is basically I grab a person and I spend with them 3 days in my studio. I teach them how I lash exactly. If I taught them before, I call it a cleanup. I basically get them to the point where there's no more mistakes that they make, right? In terms of lashes, because I want to be sure that they can do what I do exactly, right? Another thing is, the reason we call it trainer course is because we literally walk them through the entire process of how we teach a person from zero, how we structure the classes, how we manage them, the subjects, why we structure the subjects this way, how to get it to the person, how to project to the person the information, because not everybody learning the same. And as a good trainer, you're supposed to understand, you're supposed to have the way to get it in their head. And this is something that you can learn. And this is the process. And the certificate that we issue will state that you qualify to teach Lashmaker's program as part of your class. So you're going to be able to advertise exactly in those words, but you're still your own company. And there's a little bit of a perks for that too, which 20% off personal code with no expiration from zero for product purchases. So that's pretty cool too. And yeah, this is pretty much it.
Awesome.
That's the trainer's course.
Oh, wow.
We don't advertise it much. We don't have it on a website because it's very
because limited. I asked you. I know.
Yeah, it's very limited. We can only do about 12 people a year.
Wow.
On that, which I you know, so for you to understand the ratios, the difference in numbers, we train a little bit over 400 people a year generally.
Wow.
So when we're talking about trainers course, it's about 12 people a year. So it's very limited because you do need the 3 days, and it's
more
it's special.
intense, more knowledge, more intense, right?
It is more intense. Absolutely.
I think I'm gonna let you go because like
Hey, hour
so
and a half,
much
look
for
at
1
us.
hour and more than 30 minutes.
Yeah, it
You
feels like
spend
we've
with
been
us.
here for like 12 minutes.
I know. And we love you so much. I see a lot of questions, but I don't want to keep you too long. I know that you had like long days and you will have to fly back home. So
Tomorrow is
you
the flight
rest.
again. Tomorrow is, I know. And next month we have 2 group classes.
Where?
One of them in LA, and I really hope they open. Y'all guys from California, I am hurting for you, just to let you know. I am so upset. I was upset back in March, and this is what we moved actually from March. And it just happens again. It's like, what are the chances gonna happen again, right? 6 months later, but look at us. So I really hope it's gonna sort out, but we're just gonna handle it as it comes.
We're gonna just hope and pray.
It's gonna be fine. Either way, everything is temporary.
I thank you so much. I love you so much, and
I love you too. Thank you for having me.
And I can't wait to start selling your product in Montreal. Oh my God,
let's do it.
Exciting!
Let's do it.
Thank you everyone who joined us.
Official distributor of Montreal people, right here. Soon, very soon, you'll be able to get some stuff without the US shipping if you are from Montreal.
Thank you. Love you. Rest
Thank
well.
You. Bye, love. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody. Much love.